Welcome to my After Effects tutorial series, where we'll dive into the fascinating world of motion graphics templates, also known as MOGRTs. In this video, we'll explore the powerful features of After Effects that allow you to create stunning and customizable templates for easy reuse in your video projects. Whether you are a beginner or an experienced motion designer, this tutorial will equip you with the skills to craft professional-looking MOGRTs that will take your video productions to the next level. Let's get started. Let's start with what is a MOGRT? Well, a MOGRT, or Motion Graphics Template, is a file format in Adobe After Effects that allows you to save and share pre-designed motion graphic elements, such as text animations, lower thirds, transitions, and more. MOGRTs are highly customizable and can be easily imported and used in other After Effects projects, Premiere Pro, or other Adobe Creative Cloud applications. MOGRTs combine graphic assets, animations, and effects into a single file, making them convenient and efficient for creating consistent and reusable motion graphics. They are designed to be user-friendly, allowing users to modify text, colors, and other parameters directly in the Essential Graphics panel without the need for complex editing in After Effects. With MOGRTs, you can save time and effort by creating visually appealing motion graphics templates that can be easily shared and utilized across different projects, ensuring consistency and efficiency in your video productions. Here in After Effects, I already have a project that I named MOGRT, and I am in the Essential Graphics workspace. If you want to follow along, just go Window, Workspace, and choose Essential Graphics. Or if you already have the Essential Graphics workspace selected, simply reset Essential Graphics to save layout, and there you have it. Let's go ahead and create a new composition. For that, just go Control-Command-N. I'm going to name mine MOGRT. And 1920 by 1080 is perfect. Just click OK, and there you have it. Now I'm just going to type in some text. I am a MOGRT, and this is a little bit too large, so I'm going to make it about yay. And I'm also going to center that anchor point. So with the selection tool selected, press and hold Control-Command and have the layer selected, obviously, and then double click the pan behind or anchor point tool, and now that gets centered. Let's go ahead and add a typewriter effect to this. So go to the Effects and Presets panel, and you can see it right here. And in here, just type in the word type, and you'll see it right here. To add the preset, make sure that the playhead is at the beginning of the composition, and now drag the typewriter to this, and you got it. Now let's go ahead and select the layer and press the letter U, and that animation is a little bit too long, so let's just make it a little bit shorter, and there you have it. I am a MOGRT, perfect. Let's start creating the actual template. So here in the Essential Graphics panel, it says select a composition, so I'm going to select MOGRT, and I'm going to name this Test Template Luisa. And there it is. Now, do you see this button that says Solo Supported Properties? Go ahead and click there. And now here in the timeline, all of the properties that can be part of the MOGRT will be showing in the timeline. So the source text, obviously. So I'm going to rename it Source Text. And while I'm at it, I'm also going to rename that layer Text Layer. And in After Effects, you can rename almost anything by selecting it. Press Enter or Return, type in the new name, then click outside of it, and you're done. So there you go, that's source text. I may want to give it position, text, position, and I think that's it. So text position is good, and I would like to give it text color as well, so that whomever uses the template will be able to edit the color of the text. And I can do that if I add an animator for fill color RGB. And now I will drag that here and I'll call it text color. And I'm going to make it back to white. And there it is, right? I could have also done a right click and then I could have chosen add property to essential graphics. So same thing. All right, so now we want to make this a little bit more dynamic. In other words, we want to make sure that whomever is using this template, while limited in some things, is not limited in others. For example, I want to give whomever uses this the opportunity to change the speed of the animation. For that, I'm going to add a new layer. So layer, new, null object. I'm going to call this layer control layer. This is a null object, which is a layer of nothingness. And to this, I'm going to add a slider control. So here we go. Effect, expression controls, slider control, and I'm going to name it animation duration. There you go. Now, this property is going to determine the duration of the animation as we see it here. In other words, how long will it take for the letters I am a MOGRT to appear? Or whatever letters, because it doesn't have to be I am a MOGRT. It could be After Effects or hello there, how are you? Anything you want. For that, we're going to use an expression. So here we go. Let's go ahead and select the text layer and press the letter U. Let's delete those keyframes. And now let's add an expression. Press and hold Alt or Option, click on the stopwatch, and now we're going to type this expression. So before we go on, I just want to tell you, a lot of people get intimidated by expressions, and I get it. This is a basic training series. All of these expressions are written in the description of this video, so all you have to do is copy and paste. But quite frankly, you don't even need to do that. We are going to be using, quite frankly, easy expressions, so you don't have to worry about a thing. Just follow along, and if there is anything that you don't understand, it's not exactly clear, I am coming up with a new video with an introduction to expressions very, very soon. So just hang in tight and I'll take care of expressions. Just for now, just follow along. So you press and hold Alt or Option if you're on the Mac, click on the stopwatch, and then the numbers turn red and you have a place to type here in the timeline. So do you see this little menu thing here? It looks like a play button. Click there and go to Interpolation and choose this one. Ease, T-min, T-max, this one right here. And that writes the expression for you. We need to change a couple of things, but this is what this means. Ease, it's like an easy ease, right? It's going to have an acceleration and deceleration. And then the property controlling the animation. In this case, it's going to be time. So just type the word time. Then the beginning time, which is going to be 0. The ending time, which is going to be determined by the control layer. The beginning value, which is going to be 0, and the ending value, which is going to be 100. So now we have the expression almost entirely done. And yes, it tells me that I have an error. That's because I clicked out of it before I was done, and it doesn't understand this Tmax. So here we go. Select the control layer and press the letter E as in effect. And now expand the effect animation duration. And this is what you do. Double click the Tmax. See how only the Tmax is selected? All right. See this little squiggly line? This is a pick whip. Click and drag it to the word slider that we just showed. And there you go. The animation gets written for you. You can click outside of it. The error goes away. And now no animation is happening because obviously the value of the slider is 0. Let's add that slider to the MOGRT. Click on the word slider, drag it up, and it's already called animation duration. I'm going to make this a little bit wider so you can read it better. You see where it says edit range? We're not just going to let the user have this at 100 seconds or whatever. No, we're going to limit that. So click on the words edit range, and now the slider range will start at 1 and end at 3, meaning that it doesn't matter how much they slide, the animation will be as short as 1 second or as long as 3 seconds, or whatever you want for it to be. So click OK, and there you have it. I'm going to make the animation last 2 seconds, and sure enough, that is what is happening. So I'm now giving the user the opportunity to change the text, to change the position of the text, obviously, to change the color of the text, and to change the animation duration. All right? Now it's time to add a background to this. So let's go ahead and not select any layer. I'm going to select the rectangle tool, and I'm just going to draw a rectangle that will cover the text. I am a MOGRT, and now I'm going to switch to the selection tool, select the layer, and now Control or Command, double-click on the anchor point tool to center the anchor point. Now we can bring this to the bottom, and there you have it. I'm going to connect the position of that background layer to the position of the text. All right, so P for position here, P for position here. So I'm showing both the position of the text layer and of the rectangle. So the rectangle's position gets the expression. Press and hold Alt or Option, click on the stopwatch, and now simply pick whip from the position of the shape to the position of the text, and voila, now they are in the same position. And the reason why I did that is because we can change the position of the text. This is one of the things that we're letting the user do. So if we're changing the position of the text, we should let the position of the shape behind it be changed as well. So now things are getting interesting. Let's go ahead and save that. And now let's go ahead and type something else. So I'm literally going to type something else. And you immediately see the problem. The width of the text changed, but the width of the background did not. So we need to talk to the background, and we need to say, hey, width of the background, you need to change according to the width of the text. And we're going to do that with, yes, you guessed it, an expression. So let's go ahead and select the shape layer and press the letter S for scale. Press and hold Alt or Option if you are on the Mac and click on the stopwatch. And now we're going to type the expression. And here we go. We're going to start with a variable which we're going to call text layer. So text layer space equals space. Another variable which we're going to call text width. So text width space equals space. And now we're going to put it together in brackets. So this is going to be text width, comma, value, and then in square brackets 1. The reason for that, and again, I'm going to explain expressions in another video, but it's because scale is a value that is comprised of two numbers, one for width and one for height. It's the same as position, you know. So each one of the numbers has an index. So width is always going to be 0, height is going to be 1. The same with position, X position is going to be 0. And those are called the indexes of the array. This is an array. So because we are in scale, we are in an array. And because we're talking width and height, the width is going to be determined by that variable, which we haven't defined yet, but the height is going to be left alone. So that is what that means. It's like leave the height alone, but hey, do something about the width. So let's define what the text layer is. And the text layer is going to be this comp, not any other comp, this one. So this comp. And you don't even have to finish typing. Do you see how the tips that After Effects gives you already help you with that? Just double click that. So this comp, layer, this one. And then inside of the parentheses that were written for you, type a single double quote, right? So quote marks. And After Effects types 2, and it puts the insertion line right in the middle. And now the name of the layer is going to be text layer. There you go. We already defined what the text layer variable is. It's just saying, hey, text layer variable. It means look at the text layer. So now the text width is going to look at the text layer. So text layer, you can see it already here. You just need to double click it. So text layer dot source rect at time. So just begin typing source, and you can see it right here. See it? Just double click it. Source rect at time, and now dot width, and now finish it with a semicolon, another semicolon here at the bottom for good measure. And this is giving me something that is very wide. You know, it's very wide. In fact, it's like super wide. I need it to be less wide than that. So I'm going to divide this in 10. Let's see what that does. And no, I divided it by too much. I think I'm going to divide it by 9 to get it a little bit wider. Nope. Let's use a 6. Maybe a 6.5, I'm thinking. And depending on what you're using and all of that, these numbers are going to change for you. So, you know, I'm just guessing right now. I'm going to use a 7.5, I'm thinking. And I really like that. So this is now looking at the width of the text to determine the width of the shape underneath. So if I type something else, the width of the background comes with. So now I'm just going to save this project and let's continue. Now I want to add an animation to the rectangle. So I want to add it to the scale of the rectangle, but this already has an expression. The good thing is that a shape layer has more than one scale. So I can go under Content, Rectangle 1, Transform, and I can talk to this scale. So let's go ahead and add an expression to this scale. So it's going to be under Content, Rectangle 1, Transform Rectangle 1, Scale. To add the expression, press and hold Alt or Option if you're on the Mac, and then click on the stopwatch. And now click on the expression language menu, go to interpolation, and now ease. There you go. So this is the exact same thing that we did before. What is the property controlling the animation? Oh, time. The beginning time will be 0. The ending time will be the duration of the animation. The value 1 is going to be an array. So it's going to be, the width is going to be 100 and the height is going to be 0. And value 2, the width and the height will both be 100. And now I'm getting animation on the scale of the background. Now, if I want to change this to a different size composition. Say, you know, I changed my mind, this is no longer HD, this is going to be UHD. If I go composition settings, and I change this to UHD, so 3840 by 2160, this is no longer in the lower third. So I need for the position of the text to pay attention to how large the composition is, and then position itself accordingly. So I'm going to talk to the position of the text, and I'm going to add an expression. It's going to be variable, so x, y, space equals space, and then in square brackets, x and y go together. The x is going to be defined as follows. This comp, so this comp, not any other comp, this comp dot width, right, divided in 2, so /2 semicolon. The y, that's the up and down, right, is going to be this comp, height, and there it is, and we are going to multiply it, so asterisk, in 2/3, like that. So 2/3, and then semicolon for good measure. And no, you know what? I think I'm going to multiply it by 2.5. Yeah, that's much better. So no matter the scale of the composition, this is going to go into the lower third. So I'm going to save this, and I'm going to change the composition again. So composition settings, and I'm going to go to 1920 by 1080, and sure enough, there it is. So it's actually looking at the value to position itself correctly. And you could say, wait a minute, you can change this. So what are you talking about, the text position? Yeah, you know what? Let's go ahead and delete that. And now we're taking that decision away from the user of the template. You could have left it. It doesn't really matter. And then you could also add scale. It doesn't really matter. So it's however you want to do it. But I find, because I've been doing this for a while, that if you give the user too many options, too many things can go wrong. So it's better to limit it. You know, it's much better to limit it. All right. So let's go ahead and now create something for scale. The scale of the text, right? So S for scale, let's add an expression to this. So S for scale, and now we are going to create a variable that we're going to call scale factor. Scale factor, space equals space. We're going to just adjust this according to the width of the composition. So this comp, width, so width right here, divided in, I don't know, 5. And we just define that variable. And now it's going to be, we need to put this together. So the array, so it's going to be scale factor, comma, scale factor, 1 for x and 1 for y. And of course, the 5 is ridiculous. Let's do it by 20. Let's divide it by 20. If I type something else, there you go. So this is good. What if I just type After Effects? There you go. And this is working really, really well. All right, so now let's give the user the option of not having that background, not having the background. So let's select the control layer and let's add another effect. So effect, expression control, and let's just do a checkbox control. To the shape layer, that's the rectangle, let's add an expression to opacity. All right, so we know we're going to be pick whipping already. So let's select the control layer, press the letter E, and we really need to go to the checkbox control. And we press the letter E, E for effect. So it shows us the effects applied to that layer, and then we can just point at the checkbox. So opacity, press and hold Alt or Option, click on the stopwatch, and type the following. if, open and close parentheses. So if, drag to the checkbox. All right, so click, use the pick whip to drag to the checkbox. This writes the expression for you. If this value, and now equals 1, right? Now outside of the parentheses, type 100, semicolon, else 0, and end with a semicolon. This is a conditional. If it's raining, grab an umbrella. If this value is 1, then the opacity is 100. If it's anything other than 1, it's 0. And there you go. Now this checkbox is going to go here, and we're just going to call it visibility of rectangle. Off, on. So now we're giving the user the opportunity to make this invisible. Let's now give the user the opportunity to change the design. And for that, we're going to use another slider control. So with this layer selected, which is the null object, let's go to Effect, Expression Controls, and let's go to a slider control, and we're going to name this Design Choice. So this design choice is going to give us 1, 2, and 3. So 3 different designs. Let's go ahead and add this to the MOGRT, and we're going to edit the range. It's going to start at 1, end at 3. All right, so if it's 1, it's one thing. If it's 2, it's another thing. If it's 3, it's another thing. What we can't have is 1.1, 1.2. We can't have any of that. It has to be 1 or 2 or 3. So we need to use an expression for Math.round. So we need to use a Math.round method to make sure that the numbers are either 1 or 2 or 3 and nothing in between. So it's going to round the numbers. Here we go. So in the shape layer, you should have under content rectangle 1, rectangle path, something called roundness. Roundness. Let's add an expression to the roundness of this layer. So Alt or Option, click, and now we're going to type the following. Design choice. This is the name of the variable. And now it's going to be Math.round. So the name of the variable, design choice, space equals space. Now type in the word math, capital M, .round, and this actually writes it for you. And now in the middle of that, see where the insertion point is, in the middle of the parentheses? Go to the slider control of the design choice effect in the null object. And then of course it writes it all for you. So design choice is defined as whatever that is, right? So now semicolon, new line. Now if, open and close parentheses, design choice. So if design choice equals 1, the roundness will be 100. Else, any other value that is not 1, the value will be 0. All right? So if the design choice is 1, see the roundness is 100. Anything else is 0. So round. Now we're going to add a pucker and bloat. So select the shape layer, add pucker and bloat, there it is, and now add an expression to the amount. Before you do that, let's go ahead and copy this expression. So just select the whole thing, copy, which is Control or Command C, And now add the expression here and paste. And here we go. All we need to do is change a couple of values. So if the design choice equals 2, then this is going to be, I don't know, 50. You can change the numbers to whatever you want. If 1, 2, see it? 1, 2, 3. Normal. 1, rounded corners. 2, that weirdness. 50 is too much. I'm going to add maybe a 30. Yeah, that's better. I'm thinking better. And, or 3, there you go. All right? 1, 2, and 3. So now I'm going to save this. All we have left to do is export the MOGRT. Let's do it. Save your project, name your MOGRT. I already did that, so test template Luisa. And now I can export the motion graphics template. And by the way, I can add formatting. So if I add a group, for example, this can be called text formatting, right? I'm going to add the source text to that and the text color. I am going to put, there you go. Now I'm going to add another group. I'll call it animation. Right, and I'm going to add to that the duration of the animation. And now I'm going to add one more group, which I'm going to call design. And I'm going to add the design choice and the visibility of the rectangle. And there you go. Now I'm a little bit better organized. So now I'm just going to save this, and so Control or Command S, and now I can click on Export Motion Graphics Template. And this opens this panel. I can either export it to the local templates folder, which will make it immediately available to me in Premiere Pro, or I can export it to a local drive or to one of my many libraries. So I'm just going to export it directly to the local templates folder. And I can tell it, warn me if this uses fonts that are not available in Adobe Fonts. Otherwise, it's going to use a substitution font, you know, and then the MOGRT might not look the way that you intended. Warn me if After Effects needs to be installed in order to customize this. Okay. The only keyword that I'm going to use is test. And now I'll click OK. That's it. Now I can go to Premiere Pro. I'll create a sequence. I'll make it 1920 by 1080 here. And now in the Essential Graphics panel, I'll type in the word test. And here's my test template. You can tell I've been teaching this before. And there you go. So After Effects, I can select this. I can go to my text formatting. I can go to my source text, Louisa Winters. There you go. Actually, I want to type something longer. H in something. There you go. And I want to change the text color. Let's see if, oh, red is just gorgeous. And animation duration, I'll have it be 3. And there you go. I want to type something longer. I'm going to get rid of the word longer. And let's see. Let's go ahead and zoom in. I'm going to right click this and I'm going to set to frame size. So this particular sequence, if we go to the sequence settings, you see that it's 1920 by 1080. I am going to change this to be 3840 by 2160. Click OK. It just gives me some warning, and now I'm going to set. And there you go. So it's actually still positioning it how it needs to be. And I'm not going to scale it. I'm going to set it instead. So there you go. If you want to change the color of the background. That's not part of the MOGRT, right? This is what you do. You go back into After Effects, right? Solo the supported properties. So it's actually here, the color. I'm just going to go here and I'm going to name it rectangle color. I'm going to put it on under design. And now I'm going to re-export that MOGRT, right? So export. And the only keyword I'm going to use is test. It's going to warn me. Do you want to replace it? Tell it yes. Go back to Premiere Pro, right? So see how it's not there at all? Replace it. So select it, press and hold Alt, replace it. And now, under design, you will be able to change the color of the rectangle to whatever you need. Congratulations! You've learned how to create impressive motion graphics templates in After Effects. With your newfound knowledge, you can now unleash your creativity and design custom templates to enhance your video projects with stunning graphics and animations. The possibilities are endless, and I can't wait to see what you create. If you found this tutorial helpful, be sure to subscribe to my channel. I have new tutorials weekly. Don't forget to like and share this video with your fellow creatives. Thanks for watching and happy motion designing!